Okay, I'm going to try to make some Dalgona coffee. People have called it by other names, but it's Dalgona coffee. So what we're making is kind of a creamy topping that you would put on hot or cold milk to make this coffee drink. Well, I'm going to try it sugar-free. So I'm going to use 100% natural erythritol. Erythritol is one of the best sugar alcohols because it doesn't create gas, so you're not going to fart too much. So I'm going to try erythritol, some decaf coffee, and I'm going to blend it with that sucker. Now, that's not electric, but I'm really lazy, so I just figured out a way to, let's see if it works, to use my drill to spin my electric thingy there. So let's see how this works. I have a feeling that really hot water is important. So I'm putting this quarter cup of, I put the quarter cup of water into the jar, and I'm going to microwave that till it boils. And then right after it boils, I want to microwave the water first because I want the jar and everything to be nice and hot. I don't want the water cooled at all before I add coffee, this and that, the other. So that's why I want to start with boiling the water first in the microwave. The glass getting hot and everything will keep it hotter as I add everything else. Okay, I just added a quarter cup of decaf instant coffee and a quarter cup of erythritol granular sugar. Okay, so I boiled the water first. I just added the erythritol and the coffee, but now I'm gonna microwave it one more time just for a little bit, just because I want it a little bit hotter. All right, I microwaved it for, I don't know, 10 seconds, I suppose. Now let's see if my super drill thingy can whip this up. Wish me luck. Well, my drill seems to be working pretty good. Let's hope it works out. Okay, so it's kind of hard to do this and hold my phone recording at the same time, so I went ahead and blended that for about 6 minutes. It seems like the longer you blend it, the more frothy it becomes. After blending it, I did notice that the bottom had the darker coffee liquid in it, and then the top had more of the frothy stuff. So then I put a lid on the jar and I shook that up for about 60 seconds. And after doing that, it's been sitting on the counter now for about 2 minutes, and it still has not separated into what it looked like before. So shaking it up in the jar for that 60 seconds seems to have helped. So here's what we ended up with. As you can see inside of here, I think we're successful. This looks pretty good to me. You can see how it kind of frothily sticks to the metal stirring rod that I'm using here, or the metal chopstick, whatever you want to call it. And you could definitely see how frothy it is inside of there. But I am curious about how it will look after it's colder. So let's go ahead and put it in the freezer. I'm going to put it in the freezer for about an hour. Let's see what happens there. Okay, folks, 1 hour is up. Let's check out the situation. Yeah, look at there. We got some separation going on. Very nice, very nice. See what's going on. All right, looks kind of like peanut butter. Look at that. Actually looks very similar to what it looked like before. My ever so humble opinion. So let's stir it up a little bit. Mix it all up there. So I put the lid on this thing and I shook it 100 times, just like that, about 100 times. Boy, it looks like peanut butter. It looks like dark peanut butter. Anyway, look at the consistency we got. Very interesting. That's the consistency we got. Once again, you can see that consistency. Anyway, I think overall it's a success. Not whipped up like a whipped cream type of thing, but definitely smooth. I wonder if we blended it some more now that it's cold, if that would do any good. It's kind of cool with this drill, since the whisk thing is kind of hanging loose. It allows me to go, when I go left and right, it kind of angles itself to get in there and mix up everything in a nice even way. Okay, so I blended it for another 3 minutes, and then I put the lid on it and I shook it about 30 times. Here's what we are now left with. That looks pretty interesting. I think we might, that might be pretty good, pretty decent. So I went ahead and got me some coconut milk. I'm going to go ahead and add some of this to it. I don't think I want a whole lot, but let's just add some to it. Not really foamy like some people might want. I do have a theory though. I think that's enough for me. Well, let's see. I'm supposed to be artistic about this, right? Let's see if we can create a little swirly swirl on top, huh? There we go. I don't know how to draw a heart in it. Now, let's stir it up, because I really don't want just the good stuff floating on top. I want it all mixed in there. Oh, interesting. It stays floating on the top. Oh, no, it's going. It's getting there. Okay. Just took a minute of stirring to get it all in there, didn't it? So now we have this. I did not heat up the milk. You can heat up the milk or do cold milk. It's not a cold day today, so interesting. All right. Well, there you go. Let's give it a little taste here. Yeah, I just tasted that. Yeah, it's got a little strong coffee flavor. Actually, just mellow coffee flavor. But the sweetness, I wouldn't mind a little bit more, actually. Let me add another little glop of that stuff. Maybe a little more. Maybe you can almost get an espresso feel to it now. Hopefully I didn't make it too sweet. Let's find out what's going on. All right. Take a drink of that. Oh yeah, that drink is really good. That's tasty. So there we have it. Maybe not as foamy as some people can make it, but I think that's because we used the erythritol sugar. Definitely use erythritol over that malitol. And check all your ingredients when you buy sugar-free stuff, because that malitol, boy, it can just give you some crazy gas and stuff. Not the best in the world. I would call this a success. I do have a theory, though. I have a feeling that if I would have added maybe a little more of the erythritol sugar alcohol, that maybe it would have whipped up better It's just a theory. I'm not going to test it right now. But I don't know. I think it came out well. Here's the way it sits on top of the lid. So you can see there's a thickness enough to create these little hills, right? So really not bad at all. So keep in mind that what I did here was I just use equal parts of everything. So in this case, I used a 1/3 cup scoop of my erythritol. As I said, that stuff is really good as a sugar alcohol that does not absorb in your system as sugar. Like malitol, for instance, is terrible. It makes you fart like a freaking crazy person. And then I use this cheap version here of, oh no, it's not cheap. It's, well, anyway, I use Folgers Classic Decaf. And then I use the boiling hot water. So I just use a 1/3 cup of each of those things. And of course I did use my handy dandy homemade drill. Here's the way I kind of hooked that up. I got some needle nose pliers and that thing to cut the wire. And I got this bendable wire. It's not too bendable, but it's bendable. You can get that at the hardware store if you ever want to do this. I'm sure you could just go buy a blender instead, and that'd work a lot better. But sometimes it's fun for me just to be a little creative.